Guys, what's up? It's Andrea. How you doing? I'm back with another Sew With Me video for Lori Holt's vintage block along. We're on block 3, around the corner is what she calls this one. Today we're going to be making a 15-inch block. Now I'm going to link this block along that Lori posted way back in 2019 down below in the description box, because all the cutting instructions are there and everything, so everybody can literally do this together. I'm also going to link the link to my side piece quilt that's also a Lori Holt. That's a YouTube video, and she tells us how to do that if you see me doing that as my leaders and enders. So I've already cut my fabric. It's quite large pieces because it's a 15.5-inch block. I actually have a fat quarter bundle. I actually ran out of this fabric that I was using for my background, so I had to substitute like 5 blocks of one of her others that's very similar but a little darker and a different print, but hopefully that won't be a big deal. I'm doing the whole block scrappy background, and most of the fabric I'm using is from her stitched line. It's my first time using this line from her. She used the Farm Girl Vintage 2 fabric, which I've already made 2 quilts in that fabric, so I'm trying to try something different. Let me find where it is. Okay, let's get started. Pair up these 2 squares. I'm basically sticking to her same colors, because if you don't, you're going to be thoroughly confused, because she doesn't have any markers like A, B, C, D cuts. She's just saying cut this fabric this. So it can get very confusing if you don't at least have the same color. So pair up these 2 squares to make 4 half square triangles. Okay. So 2 of that and 2 of my green. Oh, 4 half square triangles. That means we're going to be sewing pair up these 2 squares. Okay, she thoroughly confused me on that one. 4 each, not 2 each. So we can sew point to point. Good. Sorry, I'm getting used to this different way of her writing a pattern. It's quite an adjustment, because I guess this is 4 years ago. You know, I guess it wasn't perfected yet as it is now. So yeah, just corner to corner. If you don't have a Seam So Easy guide, mark it with whatever marking utensil you prefer. I usually use friction pins if I'm marking fabric. Something that goes away. So for these, there's one of my side pieces. So trim about 1/4 of an inch away from your stitch line and iron. Now we can probably get some scraps off this. That looks like I can get it a 1.5 inch piece, and I can. Waste not, want not. as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as smooth. I don't know all the words. I need to learn all the words. I love that song. Chris Stapleton. Tennessee whiskey. Boop. There's our half square triangles, 3 of them. One still under the needle. I use my trim ends and cut 1/2 inch square from each at the same time. Yes, that's what I do as well. Set the 4 half square triangles aside and grab the 9 3.5 squares, the yellow, and the 2-inch background squares. We're going to make a 9 square, We're going to make a 9 square in a square block. Okay, I don't know what that means, but carry on. So an easy corner triangle onto one corner of each of these. So we're snowballing. One corner on every square. Sweet as strawberry wine. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day today. My day's been pretty good. I worked, and then I did some paperwork for work, and then I ate leftovers of that spaghetti I was telling you about, my grandmother McPherson's spaghetti. Ate the last of it. Every bit of those leftovers got ate, and it was so good. I fed Stella's fish. I posted the winner of the last giveaway that I had. The pre-cuts quilt box one. If by the time you see this, that will have been well over for a long time, so don't worry about it. And is that all? I cut this block and I started filming. I think that's about all I've done besides scroll on my phone and waste time. Waste time that I could have been sewing, yo. Freaking hot in here. It gets so warm in my bedroom. In the living room, I'll be freezing. But in the bedroom, I'm like, freaking hot, man. Why it doesn't get as cool in here. I hope I am supposed to do all 9 of these like this. I'm going to be very angry if I don't. Wasn't supposed to. It doesn't actually say. Lucky y'all have me to take a bullet and do the trial and error. Then when you do it with me, you'll say, okay, that didn't work. I'll do different. get this little chain piece thing out. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. For 3 long years, I thought you were my man. But I found out I'm just a link in your chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Now we're cutting about 1/4 of an inch away from the seam again. I don't think I've ever said too, when you're sewing, always sew, almost always, you're going to be sewing at 1/4 of an inch seam, which means from the edge of the fabric over 1/4 of an inch is where you sew. Like on your foot here, if you line up your fabric right there at the edge of it, your needle is hitting at 1/4 of an inch. This is 1/4 of an inch foot. These lines are up to 1/4 of an inch. Just FYI, because I know there's several people that watch that have never quilted. I know most of y'all are a lot more experienced than I am, but some people are not, and they're just now doing it, and I think that's fantastic. Because y'all know I'm a late bloomer to this too. I think it's been like 4 years now I've been making these quilts, which is a baby in quilt land. These seem smaller than what she's doing. These seem smaller than what she's doing. Please, Lord, let me have these right. Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make ends. Worked hard all my lifetime. No help from my friends. So, oh Lord, won't you buy me? We're going to sew a snowball in the opposite corner now of all of these blocks. A Mercedes. Y'all remember that song, Janis Joplin? Love it. I've gone through different phases of musical genres that I've loved over the years. Just about everything you can think of besides classical. I've never really been a fan of classical. In high school, of course, I liked the regular music too, like pop music and the music of the time. But in high school, I went through a phase where I listened to nothing but 50s music for a long time. So I know all those songs. And then I went through a Woodstock phase, a hippie music phase. After that, so 60s and 70s music, I was all about it. And now I just like it all. For a long time, I'd listened to nothing but 40s big band, so I know all those. I'm not a fan, even though I know that Chris Stapleton song, which is fantastic. I'm not usually a fan of modern country. Like, you can say country singers' names and I've got nothing. I'm just staring at you like you're speaking Greek. But the country music I do like is like from 80s and 90s. I know all those guys and all those songs. I love the 80s and 90s country. And I love folk rock. Freaking phone alarm went off. I jumped out of my skin, y'all. My phone's like literally an inch from my ear, recording over my shoulder. It was loud. Anyway, my alarm was telling me to do my notes for work, and I already done it, so there. Lord, I'm gonna have to go tear the air down. It's like a sauna in here. I think it's the iron putting out so much heat. Oh, I also went through a big blues phase where I listened to nothing but the blues. I still love the blues. I love music from the 20s. I just like it all. I even took a class in college called, I was actually almost a minor in folklore and mythology in English. It was a subset of English, folklore. I loved all those classes. I just took those for funsies. And one of them was about blues music. And it was so interesting. It was so cool. I took tons of folklore classes. My major was psychology. And then I got my master's in counseling, and I'm a therapist now. If y'all didn't know that. I've been working from home since the pandemic, doing telehealth, which the national crisis they ended, but knock on wood, they're still letting people do telehealth because it's really changed the way medicine's done a lot. I think it's fan-freaking-tastic. So convenient to people to be able to do it from their home. So if you weren't aware of that, your insurance probably covers that if you've thought about seeing a therapist or a counselor before and didn't really have the courage to, go out and do it. Makes it easier. Okay. Now we've got those done. Oh, Lord, we're doing more? Oh, my gosh. We're doing both the other sides, too, y'all. We are doing all 4 sides, all 4 corners. I guess that's what she meant when she called this. What'd she call it? And I didn't know what she was talking about. Square in a square is what she's calling this. I've not heard that before. Learn something new every day. 4 square and a square blocks. But yeah, those blues classes were fun. All those folklore classes were so interesting to me. And I took a class for funsies. It was an honors course called Our Love of the Scary. And in honors, they can just make up the teachers can make up these fun classes. Just whatever they want to do. It's elective, of course, but so in that class, we watched scary movies, we read scary books. It was an English class as well. Yeah, I could have had an English minor if I would have just done the independent study at the end that you have to do, but I really wasn't interested. I was just doing it because I wanted to learn rather than for, a check mark on an application or something. English is definitely my second love because I know I love to read. in one of my classes, I think it was folk songs, was this class. And he was talking about one folk song, you know, from that's a couple hundred years old probably. And it was In the Pines, is what the song is. In the pines, when the sun don't ever shine, and I'll shiver the whole night through. And then I realized Nirvana sang that freaking song. And I was just so thrilled by that, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's on my Nirvana CD. The professor didn't know that Nirvana had sang that song on their album. And so he had me bring the CD in, and he made a copy of it and, you know, put it on his roster or whatever to add to the course. And I thought that was so cool. Sing. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, and I'll shiver the whole night through. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? Basically, the song is about a man who catches his wife cheating, and sometime during the song, one of them, and I can't remember which one, is hit by a train and their head comes off. That's the folk song. But they don't actually say that in their Nirvana song. That part they don't put in there, but that's in the folk song, the original one. Nirvana Unplugged was that one of my favorite CDs, and that was on there. That's when they were on MTV. You remember that show Unplugged on MTV? They would sing perform without just like acoustic guitars and stuff, nothing plugged in. That's a fantastic album. Just like almost every song on there is phenomenal. And this was in the 90s when I was in college. I graduated high school in 92, and I graduated undergraduate in 96 in college. And then I got my master's. I graduated in 99. So we're just ironing these now, since I've just given you my whole resume. It doesn't seem like very long ago to me at all. Like, I cannot believe I've been a therapist for like 23 years. That just seems outrageously crazy to me. I'm so glad I'm done with school, though. I don't ever want to do that again. I miss the funsy classes, but I don't miss all that work. Man, papers and deadlines and ugh. And that was back when there was no online classes. There was no online, really. The internet was just barely a thing. So there was nothing like, everything was in person, which I'd much rather that anyway. I don't think I'd like an online course. It's just not the same as sitting in a classroom. That was back when you couldn't search the internet for information. You actually had to go to the library, physically get books, copy pages, research out of the card catalog. If they didn't have a book that you wanted, you'd have to do an interlibrary loan, which you filled out this little paper saying, please send me these book pages. And then they would mail the library, you know, these copied pages you'd have to pay for. It was not, kids today, they have no idea of the work we used to have to do in school. No Wikipedia, no Google. None of that, which I would have loved to have had all that when I was in school. Love, love, love. They're so lucky about that part of it. I think, obviously I've got one that's not completely finished because I got an extra piece unless I cut too much. That one's finished. I don't know which one's lacking a corner. This one, this one. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me where you sleep last night. Pines where the sun don't ever shine. And I'll shiver the whole night through. Now, we'll iron again. And then we'll have what she calls the square in a square block. We'll set those to the side. In undergraduate, I went to the college that's close by, so I was able to commute. But when I went to graduate school, that was the first time I lived in a dorm, because it was in another state. I went to University of Memphis. At first, I was in just a regular dorm with undergraduates, and I had a private room, but I just did not dig that. And then I got a graduate assistantship, and they gave me an apartment in a dorm, like a graduate apartment. It had a living room and a kitchen and bedroom and bath, the whole 9 yards. It was fantastic. And it had air conditioning. The rest of that dorm had no central heat and air. How in the world people live with no, I don't know how they did it, but I did in my apartment. I was happy for that. She's having a square up. So I'm getting my 3.5 inch square up. And square up these, make sure they're 3.5 inches. Oh gosh, mine's a little off. Mine's a little small. No trimming on that. Yeah, my blocks are a hot mess. I'm not going to need to square up any of mine. They're all either a little short or just right. Also, this guy, is this supposed to be 3.5 too? It says square up these two. Ooh, good, good, good. Those are right on. Okay, she says we can start sewing our segments together. There's 9 of these, so something's weird. Okay, what? Sew them together like this. You should have 4 of each and have one square and a square left over. Okay. So the square and the squares, we're just sewing every two together. And then you'll have, like I said, one left over for later. Anyway, the dorm that they put me in with that apartment, it was, when I first was in there, nobody else, no other students were there because the dorm was closed for summer term or something. So I was the only person in the whole building. And they had told me it was the oldest building on campus. And it was in the, if you looked at it from the sky, it was in the shape of an E. And it was supposedly after Elizabeth, the daughter of some bigwig from the college that died in like her 20s. And I guess she lived like in the 1800s or something, because there's a portrait of her in the lobby in like old-fashioned clothes and all that. And they told me that it was haunted by her. So here I am living alone in this huge haunted dorm. I never explored. I went straight from the front doors to my apartment doors, and it was like very close. I didn't go into the lobby. I didn't go anywhere in that building but my apartment and out. Which I didn't believe in ghosts or anything, but still, it was still creepy to walk around an empty dorm. And then one day, I woke up from a nap, and I could have swore somebody was standing over me, like a woman that was partially see-through in a period dress. And I remember I just like blinked multiple times because I had slept in my contacts. So I thought, oh, it's my, and then I blinked several times and then she wasn't there. But I just chalked it up to, that was my contacts and my imagination at play at the same time. But who knows, y'all? I could have seen a ghost. I could have. Who knows? But yeah, it was like she was standing over my bed looking down at me when I woke up. It was creepy. Okay, here we've got those. The one's under the needle. Then we're going to take these and attach to this 3.5 inch background. Just like that. Which I think, of course I'll have to turn it. Have y'all ever had some questionable experiences? Like with a ghost or anything like that? That's my only ghost experience story. And like I said, it was likely just my contacts being blurry in my imagination, and being half awake. Nothing else ever happened there that I'm aware of, to me. They said other students had reported interactions with Elizabeth while staying in that dorm. It's a beautiful, University of Memphis is a beautiful campus though. I really enjoyed my time there. I was super broke, so poor. I sold my blood once for 20 bucks. That's how poor I was. Because they give you a stipend. They paid for my graduate school, and they gave me a stipend of like $500 a month, I think. They paid for my books and stuff. It was fantastic that I got that deal to begin with. But I wasn't working, you know, so that was all the money I had for the whole month. I ate a lot of Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A on campus, which was the cheapest things. And once they were having some event on campus, and they were giving out these hoagie sandwiches. Like, they had one of those huge hoagie sandwiches that was like 5 foot long, and I had them cut me off a huge piece of it, and I ate on that for like a week. I was broke as a joke. Where the heck? Did I make 4 of these? 1, 2. Oh, there's one still here. Let me iron this. Which I'll never forget. Donating blood for just to get 20 bucks in my pocket. That was the only time since I was 14 and now that I didn't work, didn't have a job. I say I didn't work. The reason I got that stipend and apartment and all that was because I was working for the school for that it was called Freshman First, and it was a program that try to encourage freshmen to stay in college because, you know, there's a huge dropout rate. So I would organize things for the freshmen, like I planned parties and field trips and luncheons and stuff like that. I don't really count that as a job because it was super easy. And it didn't give me much real physical money. It was just, you know, for my college tuition. Now we're going to take these 4 and attach. Wait, Emma? I'm assuming. I'm jumping to conclusions. Let's make sure. She's actually doing square up in this one. She didn't in the first 2. So, good enough. So, we're not attaching these. I just assumed we were. I'm going to set them to the side. We're going to take these pretty blocks here, mark a line from corner to corner on your large squares. This is going to be interesting, y'all. This is going to be interesting. It's like we're making a half square triangle with this piece and this. So this is different. I love it. I love exciting new things to try. And I'm marking these because my machine's just a little, my So Easy guy, this is too big to see the center line with these blocks. They're too big, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? Yeah, we'd have to go door to door in the dorms, checking on all the freshmen and encouraging them to participate in activities. And all that good stuff. It was just me and this other girl who was an undergraduate. That we were the whole department. Okay, take this. And we're going to put the pink square where our line is going this way. From this corner to this corner. Okay, hold on, she's talking about other stuff. Yeah. If you want to keep this from wiggling, you can pin them as well. She suggests doing that, which I'm promptly ignoring, and I shouldn't be, but there's no control in this wild girl, I'll tell you what. Now at this point, I can start seeing my line, and I must seem so easy, guys. But graduate school, I was a lot more social in graduate school than I was in undergraduate, which you think it'd be the opposite. But in undergraduate, I commuted, so I was home every day. It's not like I stayed and did sorority stuff. I didn't do any of that. And I had a long-term boyfriend at that point. So I didn't really do any socializing in my undergraduate. I just went to class and came home, and that was it. But graduate school, since I was living there, I was more social with my other classmates, and that's when I went to spring break with some classmates to Breckenridge, Colorado. I went skiing. I told y'all about that in another video. I had fun. I had fun in graduate school. It was a lot of work, but their program is excellent and fully prepared me. It's a fantastic program. Hands-on training. So I'm really glad I went there. I'm literally sweating right now. Literally misting. I don't really sweat. I'm not a real big sweater, but I get a little misty if I get real hot. And I'm misting up. Okay, we're probably going to get some scraps out of this. We're going to trim, again, 1/4 of an inch. Make sure you're trimming the side that you don't want. We want this side. So we're trimming on the other side. Double check before you cut. And this definitely looks like, definitely. But part of it's seamed, so I can't use all of it, but I can use a lot of it for scraps. This one looks like a good 1.5 inch possibility. Oh, where you going? Where you going on me? Memphis is such a cool town. I still love Memphis. Which my mom was born and raised, so we got some deep roots over there. And my grandmother too. And I actually came home a lot of weekends because I had a boyfriend at that time too. I came home a lot of weekends, but not all of them. I save 1.5 inch pieces and 2.5 inch pieces. Oh my gosh, I can actually, no, I can't. I'll probably end up using this whole fat quarter bundle for this quilt because these big blocks she's having us make, like I said with that background, use the entire fat quarter. Not all of the blocks are big though. We just happen to have started out doing the big ones. She's got a bunch of small ones too. They're all different sizes. Okay, I've got one under the needle. Bear with me while I cut these scraps. Excuse me while I cut this guy. Down, 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 down. Down, down, down. And I still have a bunch of my old CDs in there, and one of those, you remember those CD binders? I actually still have mine in the cabinet in there, and a CD player. I just don't ever listen to them anymore. I had both Woodstock CDs. Tons of soundtracks from movies. Are you surprised by that? I'm sure you're not. Lots of blues CDs, lots of the Rat Pack CDs. Whew. All right, now what? What? Oh, I think we're ready to start putting them together. Okay. So, top row, one of these and one of these. when my seams don't all line up perfectly, I do a little cheater seam. Do a little cheater seam. Middle is one of these guys and our center block. In the last row, this guy and this guy. Let's pull this back to me a little bit. Ooh. Not lining up exactly as it should, eh? Gonna be a funny guy, eh? Shut up. Do you remember that Bugs Bunny cartoon when he's kidnapped by the mobsters? That's one of my favorite ones. And of course he plays them for fools, as Bugs Bunny does. But one of the mobsters, he's a little bitty short guy, and he keeps saying, "Shut up, shut up." Iron everything. I got a done side piece y'all want to see. Cute, if I do say so myself. Now, top row again. Gonna end it with this guy. This is gonna be a cute block, I think. Oh my gosh. Don't go showing out on me now. You're supposed to be lining up. Just bragging on you, and you go show your tail. Middle, these guys. These blocks are not easy. These are not easy, y'all. Let's say they're like intermediate level. To me, they're not. To me, they're not that easy. Yeah, I'm losing points like crazy. Oh yeah, we still have this last one to do. The last line. Like that. This is gonna be one of those blocks that you admire from a horse's gallop away. Ride by on your horse and take a glance at it, and it'll look good. Don't stare too long. All right, we're gonna sew this strip on. Oh my Lord. I ain't misbehaving. This one's misbehaving. She's really misbehaving. Saving my love for you. Look at this freaking size difference. Oh my gosh. Alright, let me figure out how I'm gonna do this. How I'm gonna make it right. Remember to try to nest your seams. See, like this going this way, this going this way. So you can feel they'll fit together kind of like a puzzle piece, or they should. Then you'll have your pieces lined up. I'm gonna actually pull out some pins. Y'all know it's serious business when I start pinning something, because I rarely do that. This is going to be a struggle. This is a struggle block. You have to do a little cheater seam on this. Make it work. Make it work. And I'm also just checking as I go. Oh my gosh, here's the tricky part where it's all like crazy ill lined. I'm just barely catching that fabric. This is gonna be a hot mess. I'm gonna rename this block. Rename it Hot Mess Express. Mess Express block. This video I feel like it's 2 hours long. This is a long one. My Lord, y'all's gonna know my whole life story by the time this one's done. You're not gonna have any more stories to tell. But you're probably like, thank God. Shut up and sew. Okay. Ironing, pressing. Fake it till you make it. Looks pretty good, y'all. Not too shabby. Like this one's a little longer, but I can trim that. And I'll lose that point at the end. But sacrifices must be made. Yeah, I'm probably gonna pin this too. So this one's working a lot better. It's not near as bad as the other one, but I like to, if you got a centerpiece in there, I like to make sure it's lined up, because that'll stand out the most, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. She's not going to be a ribbon winner. Alright guys, this is it. From love, this ain't love. You better just say so. This is it. Love. Okay. spray her with Best Press and we'll look at her. All right, it turned out much better than I thought it was going to, y'all. Most of my points did survive. I'm pretty impressed with myself. And I think they're gonna survive when I put the blocks together, because see, I've definitely got a 1/4 of an inch on theirs. I got a little close on that point, but now some of these is where I lost some points a little bit, but not bad. Like here. Yeah. It's not an A. She's not A. Here's gonna be the worst of it, because there is definitely not a 1/4 of an inch. So that one's gonna be when I piece the blocks together. But I give her a B-. What do you guys think? It's a cute block. I really like how it turned out, and I love the colors and the fabric. I can't tell that I used that substitute background anywhere either. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at, oh, there's one. It's a little bit darker. Here's one. But it blends pretty good. What do y'all think? I love it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, guys. Subscribe if you like to watch Sew With Me's. See y'all at the next one.